Welcome to Brandon
and
Kenny
podcast.
Whoa. We're like and Finding Nemo when they talk to whales. Hello, Brandon. How is your day?
It's going well.
I like how they made that canon in the second in Finding Dory. That actually, no, she did grow up next to a whale, so she actually does speak whale.
So, I know we talked about Pixar and stuff earlier.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Finding Dory yet.
You haven't seen Finding Dory?
No.
Just as good as Finding Nemo. Did you like Finding Nemo?
I thought it was good.
I'm actually surprised to hear that you're a Pixar guy.
Why?
Are you a Disney guy in general?
No. Some Disney, but not all.
Like, what don't you like?
It's not a don't like. It's more of a meh. Like, it's especially some of the really old cartoons I never really gotten into. Like, the Aristocats.
It was okay.
I didn't like it. The really like classics. Not a big fan of Pinocchio, Dumbo, Snow White.
Well,
Cinderella.
Nobody our generation. That's no one's favorite
Well, I know
from our generation. Although I will say, I really like Robin Hood.
Robin Hood is good.
Robin Hood and Little John walking through the forest. That's a good one. I also like Sword in the Stone. That is, watch it again.
It's been a long time.
There's actually
so I
some
can't say.
clever characters in that one that
Is
are
there?
pretty fun.
Okay, I have not seen that one since I was just a wee lad.
That one was one of my favorites only because I've said, I've always liked knights and, dragons and like all that stuff. Princesses.
I would say like my era is, and it lines up with how old I am, is really like the Lion King, Aladdin. I liked.
Yeah, Disney really had a resurgence in the 90s.
They've had a lot of ups and downs. Like they would go through these bursts of like, oh, these movies are awesome.
Yeah.
But then, well, I don't know, because then you got Pocahontas, and it was there's some good moments, but
Hey, you can't paint with all the colors in the wind? Have you ever heard the copyright.
we're gonna get picked up by the censors or filters.
Now we
or
have to
whatever.
make a canon. I need something for copyright. I have the shaker for spoiler alert. I'm looking around your office. There's a possum.
There's a possum.
You
here.
have a possum in your office.
There's a possum in my office.
Why do you have a possum in your
That was
office?
a Christmas gift long ago.
From whom? Don't tell me your wife.
No, it was.
You have to be an inside thing to know why I would even ask that.
Yeah, that's. Moving on from possums.
Wait, what? No moving on from possums. You love possums.
Yeah.
So why'd you have a possum carcass in your office?
It was a gift from somebody.
That's literally like somebody says, boy, I really love Martin Luther King Jr. and then have his dead skin on your wall.
That is that following up on the last episode? What is going on there?
What?
The Martin Luther King Jr.
No, it's not a black thing. It's a...
It's just weird. That's what your go-to
No,
was.
it's weird that something that you love and admire, its dead skin is hanging up on your wall. Have you ever thought about that?
Yeah, I guess.
That's actually a good thing. Okay, what have you ever seen was the weirdest thing that someone's ever done with their dead pet?
Not in person, but I've seen pictures of people that have had like their dog stuffed. That's kind of messed up.
I've seen that before. A
No,
lot of people do that.
That's weird.
A lot of people do that. One of my friend's grandmas had her puppy stuffed. Well, I say puppy. It was a dog, but it was just It was a small dog, but it was actually done really nicely. Where he was like put in like a laying sleeping position, and like he was put on like some furniture or something like that, and it actually looked nice.
One of the pictures I've seen is someone stuffed their dog in the upright position, standing.
Yeah.
And they put a lamp through him. That was the weird one. I'll have to see if I can find that picture.
That is messed up.
There was a lamp like from him, like from the floor through him.
Yeah.
Shooting out of his back.
I did have a friend's parents who did have their dogs skinned.
And then what? Put on a wall or put on like a floor? Or is it like a throw?
It was on a wall. And the reason why they had it skinned was because the dog's fur was the most memorable thing about this dog. Like it was like Lassie,
Okay.
like a collie. And that's why I recognize it, because I love collies. And I'm like, is that a dog's skin? They didn't think it was weird. But there's something about
Aye, that's Lassie.
that goes back to like oh, what's that? It looks like you have some leather on your wall. And you go, nope, that's my wife's skin. I missed her so much.
Couldn't let her go.
I had to have that damn woman up there.
Sometimes when I get really lonely, I take it up off the wall and sleep in it.
Don't stop. Your eyes got really big there. That was a bad character. I don't want to meet that guy. But still, I see that possum up there, and I never noticed it before. It's interesting that I even noticed that it was a possum.
We have a lot of possum stuff. So for our listeners,
you don't have to tell them everything. Some of that between you.
Summarize real quick. So my wife and I like possums. We think they're relatively cute. We, if you're around us a bit, you'll hear us say "pos" as a term of endearment. So no one's ever really like called it out.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, if I heard someone saying that, I'd probably be like, "What are you calling each other?"
Pos.
Instead of babe or honey or sweetie, it's pos.
Your wife almost called me Pos today because I was sitting in a chair that you normally sit in, something like that.
Okay, no, so I got a really funny story. This just happened too, last week. We were asking Perry, currently our youngest, what's mom's name? And he's like, Joy. What's dad's name? Pos. Oh man. No, all right.
Pos.
No, okay, I get
that
it.
That
I
is
get
so
it.
funny. I love that.
We have a lot of possum stuff. We got shirts. We got.
I remember
skins.
if I ever see a possum, I have to take a picture of it and send it to you.
People send us pictures, or if they see a possum post.
Remember
Sesame the possum on Facebook.
Remember the party that you had here? We were sitting at the dining room table in your kitchen. It was Thanksgiving.
It wasn't a party. It was Thanksgiving.
And
it was
then,
you, my parents. I think the Hartleys were there.
Yeah, and then you have a sliding door in your dining room.
Yep.
And then it leads out to your patio, which then goes out to your backyard.
Yep.
And there's a big fat possum just staring through the window. What did I say to your wife? I was the only one that noticed it, and I said, I was very calm. I said, Joy, try, because I knew if we freaked out, he would run away. I said, Joy, try not to freak out. And I made sure that she had eye contact with me, and she was looking at me before I told her.
Yeah.
Try not to freak out. And then I waited a moment, got her eye contact, and I said, there's a possum right at your sliding door.
Then everyone got excited, freaked out, and
she only saw it for
away.
a moment.
We tried to get a picture, and it was too fast.
He's a big fat possum.
It was a big one. It was like a 20-pounder.
I feel like if you guys actually had a possum that lived under your deck and came out every once in a while, you would never call an exterminator. You would be so happy.
Cat food every day.
You know, those are vermin, right?
They are, yeah. And they're
they will attack your children if they're in the backyard.
They're not friendly animals.
What is it about possums? They're not cute.
Honestly, the thing that I think it goes back to is there's this old internet cartoon called Homestar Runner, and there was a sub-cartoon, or one of the categories, I don't know what you want to call it, called Teen Girl Squad. Teen Girl Squad! You ever see that?
No.
Oh, anyway.
You showed me a Homestar Runner. That was pretty funny.
There was a
joke. Because that's when you and your wife, that's what you bonded over, and you started dating.
Yeah, because it was really popular when we started dating. There was a joke in there about possums, and we just thought it was the funniest thing. I really think that's what kicked it off, but I am not 100% sure. Either that or it was around the time where it started, and we thought, oh my gosh, that's for us.
But I thought your wife actually thought they were cute.
Yeah, we think they're cute.
You think they're cute?
Yeah, I think they're cute.
Brandon.
They're like big mousy things.
Brandon. They're not big mice. They're big rats. You ever seen a mouse?
Yes.
Mice can be cute.
So can rats.
Mice can be cute.
Rat? Fancy rat?
Mice can be cute when they're posing as Sherlock Holmes in the Disney movie, The Great Mouse Detective. Other than that, they're rodents. They're tiny mice. They're tiny rats.
All right. I'm gonna bring
That's a big rat. Possums are big rats. Mice to me are just tiny rats.
So I'm gonna bring this full circle.
Oh, now we're gonna talk about food.
And I got a way to connect it.
Okay.
How do you connect possums to food besides the obvious?
Hey, you ever eat a possum before?
No. So we have a lot of gifts. People give us like possum stuff all the time. The dead skin that you already pointed out. Shirts.
Don't say skin.
It's partially skin.
Say the fur.
The fur. Well, I mean, there's skin attached to it.
Say the tanned hide.
The tanned hide.
Yes,
What's the problem?
It's
pelt.
a tanned
pelt. That's the right word.
There you go.
Don't
say the dead skin.
The possum pelt.
Yeah.
Well, one of the things that we got is someone got us. It's one of those cheesy like truck stop gifts, and it says it's like freeze dried possum, and it's a little can. It's got stuff in it. It's not real possum. Well, I don't think it's real possum. You shake it, you hear like food in there.
Oh.
I've never opened it, but
I once went to this grocery store when we were at that men's conference where Brad North, Camp Living Water.
Living Water. Yeah, there it is.
So we went to this grocery store that was like 20 minutes away. That was just sold a bunch of jerky and that's it.
Dublin Grocery, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, in Wellston. Everybody knows it.
Was there possum? There's a lot of stuff there.
I wouldn't doubt it.
I had hippo.
I know. They got kangaroo.
I had giraffe.
All that stuff. Alligator, snake, ostrich. They got it all. I wouldn't doubt if there's possum.
If I would have known that, I would have bought some and brought them.
What's the weirdest meat you've ever eaten?
I've had alligator.
That's the weirdest?
No, I've had rattlesnake too.
I don't know if weird is the right word, but yeah.
My mom's side of the family is a little strange, where I remember I went to a family reunion. On a grill, they were cooking rabbit, which isn't that weird, I guess? No. But my family, like, killed the rabbit. They skinned the rabbit, pulled the bones out of the rabbit.
Deboned it, yeah.
And then my mom...
Wait, they actually deboned
the rabbit? And then
rabbit?
my mom was like, yeah, they're grilling rabbit. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Can't we just have, like, burger? Like, or hot dogs? What is this? And she's like, yeah, they're going to make like a big vat of rabbit stew for everybody.
Vat?
I'm like, what are, Mom? To her, it was completely normal. And in my mind, I'm just like, this is can I go to McDonald's or something? This is weird.
You know, it's funny we say that that's weird, because I agree, it is kind of weird.
That is not the weirdest meat that I've had, but that was a weird moment.
But you go back like 100 years, that's not so weird. Like, if you shoot a squirrel, you don't throw the squirrel away, you eat it. Why waste the meat, kind of a thing?
Yeah.
Shove a stick through it, put it over the fire, kind of a thing.
Rattlesnake was the weirdest one that I've had. Alligator was delicious.
How did you have it?
I've told you this, though. I had alligator a bunch of times when I lived in Louisiana. I've had it in a gumbo. I've had it grilled on a po' boy.
No,
I love on a sandwich.
Po' boy.
And I was curious, so I actually took a little piece of meat out and I ate it. Alligator is where the term tastes like chicken comes from. Because it actually tastes like chicken. Like alligator has the texture of shrimp, like that kind of bouncy, almost like bubbly meat. You know what I mean? Where it has like I don't know the term, but it has like a layer on the outside and then it's juicy on the inside. It's got that, but it's got the flavor of chicken. That is the best way to describe alligator.
I would agree. I've had gator.
Have you?
Although I had it fried, so I mean, fried food is all very similar.
I mean, it's not like I had it raw or anything.
Right. Well, I mean, like it's one thing to have like a gator steak versus deep fried gator taters.
They did have gator steaks at that one. The alligator gumbo that I had was one of the best dishes of my lifetime. It was at a nice restaurant in New Orleans, and it was delicious. To the point where gumbo is one of my favorite foods.
I cannot say I've had. I can't say I've had
weirdest
like
one you've had. You're thinking?
No, I can't say I've had like a really good gumbo.
What?
But I've never had it in the South, so
the really good gumbo is not hard to make.
I've never tried making it.
We should try making it sometime.
We shall.
It's just a spicy soup. Hey, you know what I was thinking? You know how we go on tangents all the time?
Yeah.
We are naturally tangenting into food.
Yeah. So we wanted to talk about food last week.
That's really funny.
And
I like this.
Now we made it back.
Luckily
for that canned possum.
Real racy last week.
I don't know how.
No, actually, I re-listened to it. It was
good.
Yeah, it was not like how we normally talk.
Yeah, we pulled it back. So yeah, as far as weird meats go, it's funny. Like, what do you consider weird, right? Because like I said, like the rabbit thing to us is weird, but you go back a while and it's not so weird.
I want to say weird stuff now.
Oh yeah, for sure. So
alligator was not weird because it was in a lot of places. So it was like rabbit stew and all that.
It was normal down there.
I love venison.
See, to some people that would be weird.
A venison steak to me is not great, but ground venison, like I can taste the difference in something as simple as like a spaghetti that has venison in it and one that has beef in it. I can taste the difference, and I always love the one with venison more.
I like venison. I think it's pretty good.
It's like just the right amount of gaminess, where it's not like rabbit or something like that or quail that's super gamey, Oh, I forgot. I had even more exotic meats at that barbecue pit in Texas. I forgot about that because I told you we talked about that Friday.
You said you had the snake. You said you had.
I had snake. I had a rattlesnake, and I had. I had boar, wild boar.
It's basically pig, though.
It really isn't, though. It's actually not.
Does it taste different?
It's gamey.
Is it? Huh.
And it's not like you can't make like bacon out of it. Like it's if you were to take this, what is it's pig belly, right? Is bacon
In the U.S., yeah, pork belly,
yeah
sliced, cured.
If you were to do that to a boar, it's super tough and it's super gamey.
No,
Just because it's got more muscle mass to it. What'd you eat in Wisconsin? You said there's something.
Oh no, I had gator over there, which is kind of weird. Like, why is there gator in
Wisconsin?
Why is there gator in Wisconsin?
There's this one freak over there. Just
It's just one little gator pit. They keep breeding them in or
this
something.
one guy is just like, man, I love gators. Not enough to not eat them though. Just like.
So yeah, I had that over there for some reason.
That's weird that you had gator in Wisconsin.
Yeah. I've tried snake, but not enough to really know whether I'd care for it on a regular basis or not.
I've had Impala. Tastes
Really?
just like a Chevy.
Funny guy.
No, I've actually had real Impala.
I ate Impala down in Malibu.
That's funny. I did have Impala once, but really, if you get into like any of those places, it's just deer.
Yeah.
But it's just deer from another continent. That's really it.
It's their venison.
I love goat cheese so much, but I don't think I've ever had goat.
I've had goat.
You've had goat? What does
Yeah.
it taste like?
It's
It's like lamb, something
lambish.
like that.
Yeah.
Like what? Because lamb, how would you describe? Lamb is essentially beef, but it's
Gamey
got
beef.
Yeah.
Not super gamey.
I was gonna say
but
not,
gamey
I
beef.
wouldn't call it gamey.
It's just got that like
It's almost got like a layer of I don't even know what you would call it. The way the fat in lamb is organized, it's got a different texture to it than the fat that you're typically used to in a beef burger or something like that.
how have you had lamb?
I've had lamb chops,
Okay.
and I've had like ground lamb.
Okay. And I mean, you've had like gyros before, right?
Oh, and I had a goat head. You know those stories about like, the weird family that's like
Yeah.
from another country that comes to America,
Yeah.
and they put like a goat head in a pot or something like that.
This happened to you?
Because you can get them at like the butcher. You can go get them at Sanders Meats. You can get a cow head if you want.
Did you see at Walmart they have pig heads?
Mm-mm.
Is
Like
it pig
full
heads?
heads?
Yeah, just sitting there. Apparently,
Like just a bloody pig head?
I mean, it's
Like just
it's wrapped.
like on a spike just to prove their dominance?
No, that's crazy.
I like that idea of like a medieval time, like a giant spike sitting out of Walmart
Yeah.
with a pig head on it. Pigs beware! You're not welcome here. I have an active imagination. No, remember I told you about Mario, my dad's friend.
Yeah.
One time we went over to his house. He opened up a pot that he had, and he had a goat's head boiling in broth with like a bunch of vegetables. And it actually like had its eyeballs in it still and everything. And normally I get grossed out by stuff. I thought that was one of the coolest and weirdest things I've ever seen in my life. It was just weird.
I mean, I would be okay with that because I mean that's just
You
how
don't eat it.
it's made.
He said where he came from, where his family came from, like they would actually like take out the brains and they would actually like eat a lot of it. They would eat the eyeballs too.
jelly.
He told me he makes it for the broth, and apparently that's a pretty common thing.
No.
Like there's some fluid, the fluid around the brain of the goat after it dies and it freezes for a little while, it congeals, and it actually has a lot of flavor. So when you stick a goat head, skin and everything, stick in a goat head and make broth out of it, you get some of that fluid in there, and it makes it a very, very delicious broth.
Potent.
Yeah. Which I thought that was interesting.
Well, I mean, okay.
And
so
then I looked it up and I did find out there are a lot of high class restaurants that they do make their broth with either a goat's head or something like that as well.
I mean, it's not that weird because like you think about
Well,
if you've ever made
I've heard the shell of M&Ms are made out of beetle carcasses.
well, yeah, the food coloring.
I mean, the things that we do are
There's
also
a
weird.
lot of
There's a
weird
lot of
stuff.
weird stuff out there.
Because I mean, broth in general is boiled bones. So
Or glue is made from horses.
yeah, their feet.
Yeah, isn't that weird? If you domesticate a horse, like they have to have some other use after they're dead.
Meat. Would you not eat horse?
It's not that great.
I'd try it. I've never had it, but I would.
Horse meat is super super tough. Like when you
Well,
cook
you wouldn't
it,
want like a workhorse.
when you just like let's say you cook horse meat, like a hock or something like that. Let's say you
Mhm.
cook horse meat, and right next to it you cook like a beef steak. something like
Right.
that, and you cook them the exact same way, that horse meat is going to get incredibly tough, like jerky style tough.
Right. I mean, you're not going to cook it the same way. It's just like there's
It's not
cuts.
that.
There's cuts of beef that you would not want to
I've never
cook as a
had
steak.
horse. From what I've heard of, they're not very good to eat.
Just like on a cow, you wouldn't want to eat the chuck as a steak. It'd be very, very tough. You want to do it as a roast, or you want to like pressure cook it or slow cook it because it's a tough cut. Just like brisket, you wouldn't want a brisket steak.
You know what is good? Buffalo. You ever have buffalo meat?
Bison, yeah.
Or bison.
It's the same thing. Normally, if you see it on a menu, you'll see it called bison.
Well, I watched a video that talked about the reason why there were, so many in history. There were so many more larger cities in Europe as compared to North America. There's like ancient Aztec and stuff like that were larger. But main reason why that didn't exist was that in Europe, there were animals that were really easy to domesticate and animals that you really wanted to domesticate.
Mm-hmm.
Like the modern cow that you see is actually a European cow that was brought over.
That sounds
here.
like a CGP Grey video you watched.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Okay.
So it was just about domestication. And that's why larger cities, there were so many more larger cities there because you can domesticate, you can have large groups of people in one place and you'd be able to feed them all.
Right.
Whereas in North America, the buffalo are much more tough than the European cow. Like they're not only tough, tougher meats, but they're tougher animals. They're a lot bigger and they're territorial and they're usually in large groups of like hundreds of them. So it's almost impossible to domesticate.
I will say that if you ever see buffalo chips on a menu, don't order them.
Why?
It's what they call poop. So, oh, come on.
Really
but if
proud
you
of
see Rocky Mountain oysters,
that's buffalo testicles.
buffalo testicles.
I'm really proud of you right now.
I would probably try it,
What?
but
No. Why would you do that?
because you gotta try everything, man.
No.
If it's on a menu, you gotta try it.
I don't want to try his nuts.
Like I've tried. Why is that so weird? But like eating their liver isn't.
Because I don't like liver either.
Liver can be very good.
If I gave you a buffalo penis and I cooked it nicely, would you eat buffalo penis?
I don't know.
Oh, well, really? Why?
I don't know. Because there was activities done specifically with that thing.
You don't think the testicles did
They were
any
along
attention?
for the ride.
They were along for the ride. You're so dumb. You know what that is? That's a power move right there.
What? To eat their testicles?
To eat an animal's testicles. That's like, look at me, I am man. I absorb his testicles into my own.
How's that a power move? They're dead. It's not like you cut them off and eat them in
That's
front
the
of it.
equivalent of sticking a pig's head on a spike in front of Walmart.
I guess.
Now, I have no need to eat a buffalo's testicles. I guarantee there's better tasting meat out there.
Yeah, I mean for sure. I mean I'm gonna take that nice ribeye steak over a set of buffalo testicles.
That's always weird to me that like back in the old days, like any dogs you had on the farm, they wouldn't actually be given any like dog food. Like we give our animals dog food. They got the scraps of the animals that you killed. So like
You don't waste meat, man.
Anything that's not a part of waste, like the intestines or something like that. So the testicles, picture cutting off a buffalo's testicles. I'm sorry, picture that, and then just throwing them to your dogs, and the dogs are like, "Whoa, this is awesome!"
So you say like except for intestines, but that's a food too. Tripe, like there's
that's cleaned out. Like they use intestines for a lot of things.
Yeah, like
I'm
casings
saying like
and all that.
no. I'm saying like when you're cleaning out the animal, like you cut them out.
Like the entrails?
Yes, like you don't give that to your dog. It's filled with poop. Typically that they just throw away. Unless you're in Germany, in which case you clean them out and make sausage out of it.
Yeah. Hey, they make good casing. That's where that snap comes from, man.
That is true. I'm not going to complain about
It's
that.
good.
It is really good.
See, when you package it and market it right, it's not so weird.
They do a lot of stuff to the intestines to make them like that, though. Like, there's a lot of processing.
Do you know that? Or are you trying to make yourself feel better?
No, I know that. They use different intestines for different sausages. The ones that have the most used ones with the most crackle and all that usually are ones that are almost like deeply threaded out. Like they're great, like they're stretched a lot. Because normally intestines are a lot thicker than that. The actual intestines themselves.
Yeah.
So like they thread them out a lot, they stretch them out a lot. There's a lot of not only cleaning, but there's a lot of scraping away. There's like a mucus lining inside of the intestine. There's also muscles inside of there that they scrape away. You're pretty much getting the skin, like the intestinal lining, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
You're not getting the whole intestine when you eat a brat. I knew more than you thought I did.
That's very impressive, Kenneth.
See, this is the type of things that you like, though, because then you lock that up into your repertoire, and you just become an even more efficient Wikitinez.
Yeah, that's very true.
Safe. Here's the question: best meal you ever had? It could have been something you made. Could have been something like when you were a kid, like a
Man,
fond
I don't think I've
memory
ever
you
had a best meal ever.
You've never had a best meal
I've
ever?
had so many good meals. I don't think I could narrow it down to one best one.
I've had a best meal ever.
I've had a lot of really good food, so
I have as well. I've had a best meal ever. You've never had a best meal ever?
no, because I have so
Or
many
when
really
I
good
say
meals.
that, what's the first one that comes to your mind?
I don't know.
See,
we did this on the other, like
you
when we
do
did the
this-
New
you
Year
do this
episode.
sometimes.
I don't have bests.
You do this sometimes. You really don't. Why?
Because like there's so many things that
Like when I asked you best memory of 2017, you were just like, oh.
I don't do bests.
Why
That's
don't
not
you
my
do
thing.
bests?
I just don't. I never have.
Fondest, then.
That's the same thing.
The one that you have the best memory of.
Like I don't even have.
It
like,
could have even just been the experience.
so
Sometimes
here-
it's the
so
people
for example,
you're around.
I don't even have a favorite food. Like some people are like, "This is my favorite food. I could eat it all
That's
the time,
not
anytime."
true.
So like I have a list, right? So like popcorn's in that list. Like, and for me, I guess what the determining factor is to get in that list is like if it's put in front of me, is it a food that I just can't stop eating? Like if it's there, tacos, for example, I will eat tacos until tacos are
Tapas?
gone.
Tapas?
Tapas,
And gazpacho?
I will eat steak until I am sick.
Yeah, and you make good steak. Remember
Pizza.
Remember that one?
I will finish a whole pizza.
Remember that one steak you made with like some orange zest or something like that, and you just shaved it and put it in a bowl, and we just kept going in the bowl and just grabbing little pieces of steak.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
That was really good.
That was fajita. That's
See,
fajita
that
meat.
was one of there was fajita meat, but we ended up just eating the
Well,
steak.
because it was really
It
good.
was really good.
And then I cut it crazy thin.
I
so
loved
like
it.
there was so much surface area you could taste. Every bite was just fully just.
See, that was one of the meals like that I have fond memories of.
But see, that's
You
the
don't
thing
have
is I
anything
have
like
meals
that?
like that all the time. That's why I don't
You
have.
can't name one in particular. This is what bothers me sometimes, and I love you, but this is what bothers me sometimes about you. I'm just asking to name one in particular.
Like you put me on the spot. And I just
Doesn't
drop
have to
like,
be your
duh.
best one.
Like okay, so
You
I
did.
just-
That's literally I said. I looked at you, and your face just looked like that.
So like just thinking of meals off the top of my head that I've had that I've really liked. There was one I had actually twice in Minneapolis that was
Yeah.
very good.
I think
It was
you
at
told me
the-
about this.
It was called like the American was the name of the restaurant, like the American House or something like that. I can't remember what it was. Amazing food. You're talking like $40 a plate, easy.
Yeah. Well, what was the meal?
We did. It was pan-seared duck was the main appetizer entree. That was really good. It had a nice, I believe it was a maple glaze.
Yeah.
I think that was over risotto, or is it risotto?
Risotto.
Risotto.
Over a nice risotto.
It was the quack
Wait,
and
hold
the
on, wait.
risotto.
We gotta stop being so racist.
That's-
Keep
that
going.
was bad. Anyway, so that was very good.
I don't think we're racist. I think we just like accents.
Yeah, it's true. And then we got a bunch of different appetizers. There was mussels. That's one of my favorite appetizers.
You know, I don't think I've
mussels
ever.
in like a broth of some sort. It's really
I feel
good.
like I've periodically in my lifetime had oysters and mussels.
I don't like oysters.
But I don't think I've ever liked them. But I don't know because every time it's offered, I always just go, I don't think I like that, so I'm not gonna get it.
I'll have to make you sometime. I make a really good mussel carbonara.
Carbonade.
Carbonara.
What did you say?
Carbonara.
Carbonata.
Carbonara.
Oh, carbonara. I thought you were saying carbonade, but you were pronouncing the E at the end.
I make a really good.
Carbonada.
I make a really good mussel carburetor.
That's dope.
Wait a second, you're mixing some things up there. Yeah, I make a really good mussel carbonara. I really like mussels. I also really like clams. Oysters are on my very, very short list of foods I do not like, will not eat.
Yeah.
Also included in that list is one other seafood. I don't know if it's actually considered a seafood, but it's the same category. Snails.
Seahorse. Oh,
I would try a seahorse. It seems really bony though.
yeah, I wouldn't try seahorse.
Crunch, crunch, crunch.
Yeah, it's just a small bug.
So
Seahorse
yeah,
is, I'm pretty sure
escargot is
seahorse is
gross.
a sea bug. But snails, you never tried?
I don't
I've
escargot.
tried snares. Snares.
You
I've
snare?
tried snails. It's okay.
I don't like it.
Mine was prepared okay, so it was okay, but it was good. But I don't.
Wait, were yours cooked?
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm talking raw.
I'm talking raw.
I almost threw up. It was really bad.
No, I would not do that.
Raw
That's a bad
oysters too.
idea.
Oh man, it's
That's
just
a bad idea, bro.
I'm sorry, but that's like eating a booger.
It is a booger. It's a sea booger.
It's a sea booger. It's
It's
so
Poseidon's
gross.
booger.
It's a big old bowl of snot. Gross.
Hope you're not eating while you're watching. Listen to this, guys. My most memorable dish. I was in Toronto with remember Chris Burton and all that.
Ah, yes, Mr. Burton. Long pants. If you're listening, Chris.
We we were in Toronto. Like a bunch of us were there for what were the we went there for an internet TV show. That was they only come out with like 2 episodes a year or something like that, or every 6 months, and they have a
Was
big
it the
show for it.
Red Green Show or something.
No, Pure Ownage is what it was called. Got my brother into it. It's pretty good. So we went there to go meet the cast and to go to the special theater for the live showing of the new episodes. Plus, it was summertime. We wanted to go on a trip together, and they all just turned 19. And they wanted to go to Canada and have a couple beers, where it was legal at 19.
Mm-hmm.
So we went to restaurants and everything so they can have beer, and but it was fun. And we went to this one restaurant. I do not remember the name. There was also a breakfast place that was phenomenal that we went to every morning because it was the breakfast place that was shown in the TV show we watched.
Right.
And they had fresh squeezed orange juice every morning. Like in house, which
That's
was
a lot of work.
It was awesome. And they to prove it, like as you walk in, there's these giant stands as you walk in that are just piled with oranges, just to prove that it's fresh squeezed every day, and it was delicious, and the food was too. We did that every morning. That was awesome. Not the best meal, but that was awesome. Best one I ever had was at this back alley restaurant that we found, where we were just trying to find someplace to eat, and this was like one of the last nights, so we were just walking around, and we go to this restaurant that looked pretty good, and we walked in, and it's like a steakhouse, and I just had a big lunch, so I didn't want steak. Some of the other guys ordered steak. I ordered a steak burger, and I had a Caesar salad as an appetizer. And then, of course, we got a couple things on the table for apps. One of the things I'm noticing, and by you and me, these meals that we remember, they were full course.
Right.
Like, it wasn't like one thing.
Right. Yeah.
know?
Multiple parts.
Yeah. So it makes me think that, like, those fancy restaurants that say, like, you have to, like, experience the whole thing. There's some truth to that. It's not about one plate. It's about the experience.
Right. Well, I mean, there's definitely the experience part. And then if it was properly designed, one part of the meal preps your palate for the next part of the meal.
Correct.
Which is why it all just kind of comes together.
The steak burger was exactly what you think it would be as one of a memorable meal. It was bomb. It was awesome. So freaking good. But what really blew my mind was actually that tiny little Caesar salad off to the side. Because it was very clear they made their own Caesar dressing.
Yeah.
And
was it tableside? Oh, no, because if you're guessing, You ever have a tableside Caesar?
No.
So fun fact about Caesar salads, people think that it's made with anchovies. It's not. Sometimes they'll get served with anchovies, and that's just to kind of play into that.
Yeah.
The reason it has that slight like anchovy taste is because of the Worcestershire sauce, which is made with fermented anchovies.
Yeah.
Because anchovies aren't weird enough. So
it is made with anchovies, though.
Indirectly. But people think like it's actually tossed in. Anyway, if you get a tableside Caesar, which I have never had, but I would love to have somewhere done right, like they come out, proper Caesar dressing is like an egg yolk, an oil, a vinegar, Worcestershire sauce. You like take a lemon and crush it into it, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
And they actually do that in the bowl and toss it. The Caesar salad was actually designed to be a talking piece during the meal, but now it's been thrown into a bottle and the dressing gets dumped on. So someday,
I'm not going to complain. I like Caesar salads.
Anyway.
But this one was delicious, and they made it all from scratch, and they had this special type of. They had like roasted peppercorns in it.
Oh, yeah.
So like the full peppercorns, and then they were cooked. And it's almost like they were smoked inside of it. They were still ground up, the peppercorn, but you can tell that it was like cooked and they did something to it. Where every time like I found an accidental little full kernel of peppercorn, like it just felt like a burst of flavor in my mouth, stuff like that. And it was awesome. You know, I'll just say it. That was the best meal I've ever had in my life.
Ever. Wow.
Ever.
That's pretty intense.
I've had a lot of memorable meals. That one, because normally it's like I mentioned, the best steak I've ever had in my life was made by my grandpa. And it wasn't anything special. It was just him making a steak. But the way he did it, he did some really good stuff to it. He got a really nice piece, like a really nice cut and everything. And it was the best steak I've ever had. I think that mostly has to do with the fact that my grandpa made it.
Yeah.
You know, when I look back. This one,
aspect.
and I really love the people I was with. There's actually some pictures of that night. I think there's a picture on Facebook of someone's dish, but it wasn't mine. Not the one that I wish there was a picture of it. I love being with the people, but I definitely remember that meal. And I definitely remember it being awesome. We'll give them the hashtags.
You can find us on Instagram, and Facebook and Twitter, YouTube and Google Play.
Were you singing?
I don't know.
You sang.
Yep.
You even did a little scoop up. You did your hands and everything.
Yay.
You like
Oh,
did
crap.
jazz
That's
hands.
borderline Peter.
Hello.
Peter.
That's good.
How dare you?
That was a podcast you chose to listen to. Do you think you make good choices? Whether you do, you heard Brandon and Candy talk about things that are cool. We're feeling enthusiastic that you can be average too.
So dumb. So dumb, Brandon.